Hi, my name is Logan, and I'm on a journey to try food from every country in the world. Food is one of the universal languages that unites all of us, and I want to know what the world eats. So can I afford to fly all around the world? Or let alone afford to eat every traditional dish? No. But I'm lucky enough to live in one of the most multicultural countries of the world, so I'll make do with what I got. So come join me on this adventure of worldwide culinary discovery. Okay, so here are some common Egyptian ingredients. Forgive me if I mispronounce these words, I'll do my best. First up we have baharat, which is a spice mix. From my understanding, there are many different ways of how people make baharat, but usually the ingredients include cardamom, cumin, coriander seeds, nutmeg, paprika, or dried chilies, pepper, cloves, ginger, and allspice. And what this spice mix is used for, it can be used as a dry marinade on meats or a seasoning. Next up we have wheat flour, and that is used to make aish baladi, which means bread of life. And we also have eggplants, and that's used to make moussaka, which is an eggplant based dish. And sabna, or in other parts of the world known as ghee, and that is clarified butter used in most Egyptian dishes. It is known to be fatty, but is also delicious. Next up we have lentils and chickpeas. These are affordable protein sources. And then we have fava beans, otherwise known as broad beans, and these are high in plant protein and fiber, and they're used to make ful, a traditional Egyptian breakfast meal. We also have rice, pasta, and vermicelli, and they're a source of carbohydrates. And the meats that are eaten in Egypt range from fish, beef, goat, mutton, and poultry. Now from my understanding, meats aren't commonly consumed by many Egyptians. They are often bought as a treat or every now and then because they're quite expensive for most people. Alright, so that's enough talk about Egyptian ingredients. Let's have a look at some food. Now as I said in my intro, I can't afford to fly everywhere in the world, and that is the case with Egypt. So let's do the next best thing, which is try to see what Australia has to offer in terms of Egyptian food. Restaurant is pretty cool, eh? Nice place to dine out. And here is the baharat as a seasoning. And I had a little nibble of it myself, and all I can say is that it tastes amazing. And I think that every household should have this because it can bring so much more flavors to any dish. So the first meal we have is shwarma, and that's made from grilled marinated chicken with lettuce, tomato and garlic sauce wrapped in flat bread with a side of Middle Eastern pickled turnips. But look how big this thing is. It's almost as big as my forearm, and like most meals around the world, there are many different ways to make shawarma. And so far, this looks good. So I did a little bit of research into how garlic sauce, otherwise known as toum, is made. Now, there are many different ways to make toum, but the common way to make it is to use lots of garlic cloves, and when I say a lot, I mean a lot, salt, lemon juice, and olive oil. Now let's watch me eat this shawarma like a human vacuum cleaner. So how does shawarma taste? Well, brilliant. The meat is juicy, tender, and the spices bring so much flavour. The salad adds a refreshing crunch, and the tasty garlic sauce unites the meat and the salad. Now what about those pickled turnips?
It's a bit sour, but it's pretty good.
Next up we have Koshari, and that's made from cooked rice, pasta and lentils, garnished with chickpeas and fried onions. And here's the tomato sauce that goes with the Koshari. It's made from slow cooked tomato sauce with garlic and vinegar. And here are two smaller sauces. One is daka, which is garlic vinaigrette, and the other is homemade chili sauce. So how does it taste? Well, quite good. The rice, pasta and beans are soft and are balanced by the crispy fried onions. It's not so flavoursome even with the tomato sauce, but it is very warm and filling. So let's have a look at the other sauces. Now what about this homemade chili sauce? How does that taste? Well, I love spicy food, but spicy food don't love me. Ooh, it's good. Not only is it spicy, but it's also tangy, and I like that combination. Now what about this daka sauce, or otherwise known as the garlic vinaigrette sauce? How does that taste? It's very strong. It has a very strong garlic taste to it, and it's very sour at the same time. I myself, I don't mind garlic so much, but if you love the taste of garlic, I would recommend this to you. As for me, I can do without it. So I was feeling a bit thirsty and decided to get myself some Turkish coffee. Now, I know it's not Egyptian food, but I do have a strong love for coffee. And the Turkish coffee is made unfiltered with finely ground coffee beans. The cool thing about the Turkish coffee is that it also came with the Turkish Delight, which is a rose water flavoured sweet with pistachio filling. So how does the Turkish coffee taste? It's strong, but it's also aromatic, just how I like it.
Hello.
So that's enough mains for today. Now we're gonna have some desserts. Now let's start off with Sahlab, which is a warm rose water infused custard drink garnished with nuts and sultanas. Look at the nuts and this gooey texture. So how does it taste? It's not too sweet, but it's also warming. The nuts and sultanas add texture to keep it from being boring, and it's great for colder weather. As you can tell, I'm a very messy eater. Alright, so let's see how this Turkish Delight tastes. It's very sweet, and you can taste the fragrant rosewater taste. Not all Turkish Delights come with pistachio filling, but this one happens to. And I'm not complaining. Okay, so at this point I've eaten a whole shawarma, a whole plate of Koshari, and Sahlab, and I'm starting to get really full. So let's move on to the next dessert, which is kunafa. Kunafa is a dessert made with pastry dough, cheese filling topped with pistachios and covered in rose water syrup. And here is some double cream. Now I never knew what double cream actually meant, but from my understanding it is just cream that is very rich in fat, and supposedly the double cream helps cut through the sweetness of the kunafa. Now I love to eat crunchy things, and I'll let you hear how crunchy this kunafa sounds. Look at that cheese. If you love cheese, I can imagine that you'd love a kunafa. So how does it taste? Well, really good. The pastry dough is very crunchy, the cheese filling counters the syrup so it's not too sweet. I'd recommend this for anyone that has a sweet tooth and loves their cheese, and also loves crunchy food. So what about the double cream? Does that cut through the sweetness of the kunafa? Well, it does, but because it is so fatty, I feel even more stuffed eating it. But it was at this point that I became way too full to eat anymore. So I decided to take the kunafa home, as I don't like wasting food.
That food was really delicious, but I feel like a brick wall now. I am so full, I can't move. Great food though.
Thank you for joining me on the first episode of Logan Eats the World. That is one country down and 195 to go. If you would like to support this show, hit the subscribe button and the notification bell to be updated of new videos when they come out. And you can also follow me on social media. Seasoning. And that is made from grilled middle. This shawarma is quite big. It's a and when I say a lot, I mean a lot. The salad, filling, hearty. Not only is it with Sahlab, but because it is, you can also follow me on social media as seen in the links on the screen.